What's up, guys? This is Ascension. We're going to take a look at some of the rarities for Primal Origins. As you guys might know, the sneak peek is this weekend, so be looking for some of these cards whenever you go out to your local card shops or wherever your sneak peeks are held. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is the secret rares. We'll start off with the highest rarity. I think one of the most desirable secret rares, at least in my opinion, is going to be Majesty's Fiend. Majesty's Fiend is basically a 1 tribute Angel 07. It could be potentially a game-breaking card for Monarchs. I know that some matchups are potentially unwinnable against this, especially with Angeli coming out. The matchup for Madolches is they pretty much don't have an answer for this outside of something like Fiendish Chain or Summon Negation, some way of getting around not being able to use their effects. And things like that, if they don't have right away, could be potentially game-winning for you because it is a combo deck, so there's not a whole lot of defense to it, per se. But yeah, this is going to be one that people are going to be looking for. I don't like to guess on prices because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market's pretty crazy, especially with sneak peeks and pre-releases. They like to jack the prices up. But a secret like this, you're probably going to be paying something between like $25 and maybe up to $40 for. It might go higher than that. It's hard to tell. I don't know necessarily the hype behind this, but it is a secret, so it's going to be hard to pull, and it's not completely useless, so it's probably going to have some value to it. The next secret that we're going to look at is the new Sylvan Ixie. It's a rank 7, which is really good for them with the addition of Sequoia in this set. The great thing about this card is it is a non-targeting effect. So yet again, we're getting another answer for the Bujin Turtle, the Safe Zone, and whatever else that's keeping you from being able to target things effectively. The Sylvan High Arbiter gets around that. And he's fairly easy to make now with the addition of Sequoia, and I believe it's Cherub Sprout, I think, is the one that copies a level. You could even potentially run things like Copy Plant to sort of speed up your rank 7 plays. And of course, you still have the powerful rank 7s that we've had for a while now, like Big Eye and Dracasac. And it definitely gives the deck a new dimension that I think is going to be really good for them. Not really many other secrets that I'm too excited about. We are getting Glad Beast, Neurokius. They're going to be potentially good for Gladiator Beasts. I know that people have wanted to pick the deck up again for a long time. A lot of people had a whole lot of fun with it, so it's good that they're getting some support. It's kind of odd that they printed it secret. It may or may not be expensive. I don't think it's going to be nearly as expensive as Majesty's Fiend or Oriya. And there's the new Racket Magic, the 7th one. I'm not crazy about it. It is a free monster. It's a little, the stipulation is very odd to me. I don't know if it's going to be all that great, but maybe, if you pull one and it doesn't have a very high value and you want to hold on to it to see if it changes, might not be a terrible idea. The alties, there's not really a whole lot to talk about other than Artifact Durandal. Durandal is going to be a good one to pick up, just because for the pure artifacts, it is sort of an essential part of their engine. And a lot of people are splashing the artifacts into other things, which makes it good because, even if you're just splashing the 3 of the Sanctum and Moral Tech, you still have the potential to make this, especially if you're running something that can already make rank 5s like Constellars. And its effect is pretty good. It's a potential effect negator. That's always a really positive thing. Really, where the money at this time around, I think, is going to be in the ultra rares. Unlike the last 2 sets, we're getting more than just a new Bujin, and there's really a lot to look forward to as far as ultras. Durandal, again, comes in ultra just like it does in ulti. More than likely, people are going to want the ulti. Some of the things that I wanted to take a look at specifically is, of course, Angeli. Angeli is going to be one of the ultra rares in this set, and I'm guessing that it's going to be around the price that Yamato is right now. There's definitely a lot of hype around the deck. I think the deck is still pretty fragile. I don't think it's going to be sort of god tier. It does make the combo really consistent and really easy to do. It gives the instant hoot cake food. So it is going to be pricey. Probably, I'm looking to pick them up at around 40. I wouldn't like to pay any more than 40 at the sneak peek, but sometimes you just never know. People will get crazy about it. I know Trick or Treat has been a pretty popular thing that's running around now, and Angeli's gonna obviously give that a boost because it's the Madolche core. But if you pull that, it's definitely a good pull. Got some value to it. It's gonna be really desirable. Another Ultra that we want to look at is the Sylvan Level 7 that I mentioned earlier, Sylvan Sequoia. His effect is really, really good for them. He's easy to summon. You can special him whenever you excavate a Sylvan or a Sylvan is destroyed, and he can excavate himself. You can get those cards off of Charity that you set up, and he's potentially a really good one. And we didn't miss Charity, did we? No, it's not a secret. Sylvan Charity is going to be an Ultra. A lot of people expected this to be a secret because of all the hype behind it, but it looks like they're going to leave it at Ultra for this set. This one also is going to be pretty pricey, probably more so than Sequoia. I think this is going to be essential to run in any Sylvan build post-Primal, so it's probably going to be up there with Angeli, maybe even a little bit more depending on how people want to play it. I think that Sylvans are definitely a less combo-oriented deck, but definitely a less vulnerable deck to play. They have a little bit more protection than Madolches do. And, we should all know what this does by now. You draw 3, then if you have a Sylvan card in your hand, you can reveal 2, including at least 1 Sylvan card, then place them on the top of the deck in any order. So it's sort of like Graceful Charity, which, them being able to get draw power and set up the top cards of their deck is going to be really, really good for them. So look out for that. If you pull that, it's probably going to have some good value to it. Artifact Sanctum, they changed it from Theosophy to Sanctum. It's going to be an Ultra as well. It's an instant summon from your deck. So that's, pretty much all we have to say about that. We've known, if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Any amount of time, that any effect that summons a monster from the deck is really good and potentially really broken. And it also gets the secondary effect of, whenever it's destroyed, you get to pop a card on the field. And since the way that chain would work, it actually would even get its effect if it gets warninged. So that probably is the reason they released something like Wiretap. I know that whenever Wiretap came out, a lot of people were saying that it's better than 7 tools because it is a way around Sanctum, even though we don't have it yet. It's good to plan ahead. I think that's going to be a good way to work around such a powerful card. Also, they're giving the Artifact Movement, which has now been changed to Artifact Ignition and Ultra Rare. Potentially in Pure Sylvans, it's a substitute for MST. It's basically the same thing as MST with the added bonus that if they accidentally pop it, or if you pop it yourself, your opponent skips the battle phase for that turn. So it could stop a lot of really aggressive decks like the Soul Charge Dragon Rulers that have been really popular lately, and potentially even Madolche, something that is really OTK oriented and doesn't have a whole lot of protection. So yeah, that's going to be another high value card, probably around 30, along with Sanctum and some of the other ultra rares. We're getting a new Galaxy Eyes Ixie. It's pretty cool. I think that Galaxies are getting a lot of support in this set. I don't know if they're quite there yet, but they seem to definitely be on the brink of like a breakthrough. I think that they're going to be really good in the near future. It sounds like they're sort of building it up. Maybe they're just releasing some stuff that they wanted to get out before, that era of the show ended. But nonetheless, I think that they're going to be good and they are getting some support. Some of the super rares to look out for is our TCG exclusive Scythe. I don't know if people are going to be running this if they're just teching the artifacts. It is sort of anti-meta. Obviously, Moral Tech is going to be one to really look out for. I think that it may be a pretty valuable super because this is the one artifact that if people are splashing the engine into their decks, they're going to be running Moral Tech. So if you pull that, it's going to have some value to it. Probably around 20, I would say, something like Hoot Cake. It's a pretty essential card for anybody that wants to run artifacts at all. Then we're getting the new Dark World card. I don't think that it's going to make them that much more relevant. It gives them a little more flexibility. with making some Ixie plays, and it gives them another monster to spam to bounce back for Grapha, but I don't think that it's going to be a huge deal for them. We're getting Forbidden Scripture is going to be super. Looks like in this picture it's secret, but I guess that's not going to be so over here unless this list is wrong. But if Boojins remain relevant, this could be a potentially good side card against them. They do side Decree, so it being a spell is really nice. And for me, the biggest thing with Boojins is the cranes. I know that people always talk about dealing with Turtle and Hare and whatever else is in the grave, but when I play against them, it's really not that big of a deal for me. It's always the crane that they have in hand. It's always the 3 cranes that they hard drew that you're blind attacking into. So this is going to be a good side against them if they remain relevant. I know they're getting Harume. I didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but I don't know. I think that they're on the downswing. I think that people are realizing that the deck is just a little too vulnerable sitting on Yamato and trying to protect that one monster for an entire match. We're getting Princess Sprout as a super, Vampire Vamp, a couple of Monarch cards. Monarchs are getting some support, but I think the best support that they're getting is the Majesty's Fiend for now. Of the rares, the ones that you're going to want to hold on to probably are the Dawn Knight. It's probably going to be relevant once we get that Lightsworn structure deck in June. We're getting Ghost Trick, So Cute Boss. I don't know why they changed that name, but it's Konami. What can we say? There is the silly sort of lock that you can do with Succubus, where you can sort of lock out your opponent's monster zones if you play the Nimble sort of build. So that could be an interesting rare if you want to hold on to it. A couple of new numbered monsters. The only ones that I've seen that are pretty good are the Ragnazero and the Ragnafinity. So if you want to try and build a deck with them, or you have some friends that are interested in that deck, you can hold on to those rares. The Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line is potentially really good for them. It gives them an extra summon, and it opens them up to some potentially different synchro plays and stuff. So that's also a good rare if people are still interested in Mecha Phantom Beasts. I know that they have a lot of cards and not a lot of people know what they do, and that's potentially a dangerous mix for a deck like that. Traptrix Dionea is really good for them. It's giving them some extra support, and that'll be an interesting rare. A lot of people are interested in Traptrix, so you might be able to hold on to that to make the deck, or give it to somebody that's looking to make Traptrix. I think that's pretty much it for the rares. Ixie Universe is bad. That's really stipulational. And then for the commons, obviously all the artifact stuff that you get, you're going to want to hold on to if it does become relevant as a pure archetype. I know for now, at least in the OCG, it's been just a splashable engine and things like Chronomalies and Constellars. But nonetheless, you might want to hold on to it. We're getting Cherub Sprout, like I mentioned earlier, that gives you the level manipulation with Sequoia to go into the new rank 7. Hazy Flame Hydra, I like that archetype a lot. I think their boss monster Ixie is really good. And they, can abuse the Wonder Kindling we still have. So if you want to build a sort of a budget deck that's fun to play at locals or with your friends or something, Hazy Flame Hydra is definitely going to give them a little bit of support. Star Dustin's going to be a common in the set. That's the new Dustin monster. They get a boss monster now. We've been waiting for it for a while. A friend of mine and I kind of joked about them getting a boss monster, and then whenever this was released, it was pretty much the exact effect that we had, hypothesized. Galactic Charity, again, galaxies are getting some more support. I think that they're either trying to push them in a direction to where they are tier 1 or tier 2, or they're just, like I said earlier, trying to get all the stuff out for that generation so they can move on. Diamond Core of Quackimero is another good common to look out for. Quackimero Fire Fists have been floating around for a little bit. I haven't played with them or played against them much, but I've heard good things about them, and it is a great search card for them, so that's going to be some good common support. Probably the one common that I'm going to look out for the most in the sneak peek is Scrap Factory. Scraps are very good right now just on their own. They have really good effects, and they sort of plus off of your opponent destroying them. So it's a good sort of engine for a deck, and Scrap Factory is about as good as it could get as far as support for them. The field spell is very good. It lets them do some really nutty combos with Floatress whenever we get it, and the Scrap Twin Dragon, I believe it is. So that's going to be a good common to look out for. Jackpot 7 I don't think we have to worry about because Konami decided to ban both of the morphing jars. There's Ghost Trick Knight. People are interested in pure Ghost Tricks. It might be alright. And I think Doll is up here, maybe in the rares. Doll's alright for them. It's not as crazy as I thought that it was. It doesn't work very well with Knight. Evo Singularity is another common that I'm going to be looking out for. I like the Evol archetype a lot. I came into the game during the Rabbit format, so Evols were getting a little bit of play just because Logi and Dulka were so popular, and I think Evo Singularity could potentially bring them back in the limelight. Hopefully it does give the deck a boost. I know it's not very competitive right now, so hopefully with the release of this new card, they'll be able to do some stuff and sort of get back into the relevant side of the game. We're getting Tomahawk, which we've been waiting for a long time. I think these last few, there's 100-Footed Horror. There's a few OCG imports that are kind of cool just for collection's sake since we're finally getting them. But as far as the actual competitive game goes, they're not really all that relevant. We are getting Galaxy Dragon, another Galaxy support card. So, yeah, this is pretty much the set, I think. I hope that you guys do well in the sneak peeks. I'm going to try and go to at least one this weekend, and maybe I'll let you guys know, give you an update of how it went, what I got, what I didn't get, and then we'll probably do a little look at the market after the sneak peek and see maybe where the prices are going to go from there and what the format will look now that we're getting this really powerful set next weekend. So I hope you guys have a good day and take care.